controversy after the fight has given not one single excuse. There was a lot of conspiracy theories from everything from ring walks to massages in the ring to being knocked out in sparring. He's dismissed all of this and just given the credit to Andy Ruiz. Isn't it fair that we just kind of accept what he's saying or not?
No, because we're not fools. We know what we see. And I think he's being very sporting because nobody put a gun to his head to make him go in the ring on June 1st. But the guy in the ring was not Joshua. It was not Joshua. It was a different fighter. You know, you can sugarcoat it any way you want, but I'm telling you that Andy Ruiz is not competitive with Joshua.
What happens in a rematch?
Same thing that happened at the Garden. The stupidest thing they can do is to put Joshua back in with Andy Ruiz, because fight his memories and so forth. And based on what I know about the sport, you're going to get the same result. You're going to get the same result because this wasn't like Lennox Lewis with Hasim Rahman, where Rahman hit him with one lucky punch and knocked him cold. It wasn't the same with that Kings fighter,
Oliver McCall.
Oliver McCall. Well, again, a lucky punch. All right, and in the rematch, Lennox came through both times. But this was different. This was a guy that got knocked down 4 times by Andy Ruiz, who hasn't the ability to knock down ham and egg guys. And so that memory of getting knocked down by Ruiz stays with a fighter. I would think that Eddie Hearn would do much better giving Joshua a couple of fights, getting him ready. There's no hurry, so he gives up the immediate opportunity to fight for a title. But I'm not his promoter, I'm not his advisor, and he's not going to listen to me in any of it. And so I think, that Andy Ruiz beats him when the fight goes on again, like it looks like at the end of the year.
So, guys, I just let you listen to the other part of this interview. And it's funny how contradicting this is, because he's saying, okay, this guy wasn't Joshua, and Andy Ruiz did not beat Joshua, or the Joshua that we know. So if that's the case, you made that bold statement, that convincing statement, that wasn't Joshua. So why would you, again, be against the rematch? Because obviously, he said nobody stuck a gun to his head or whatnot, but he knew that wasn't Joshua. So you knew something was wrong. He's not going to come out and say it, just like he just said. No one's going to come out and say it. That's admirable of Joshua to say nothing was wrong, because he knows damn well that something was wrong. That's all Bob's saying. But then they ask him, well, what's going to happen in the rematch? He says, oh, well, the same thing. Well, how can you be convinced if it's the same thing if that wasn't Joshua or wasn't the right representation of Joshua that night? Okay? Because it seems to me anybody could have a off night. I think it was more than that. An off night is an understatement compared to all the shit that was surrounding this whole event. Okay? This wasn't a paper smooth event. You went from Miller to possibly Ortiz, then Hunter possibly, then Ruiz. Okay? Then of course we have all types of other things, that I've covered in other videos, and we've been through all that. Robert Joshua statement, the outburst with Robert Joshua, the in-source secret rumors, basically, because we can't call them facts per se, but rumors that he was knocked out. We did see shit all over his face. We seen him scrapes. We seen him bruises. We seen all types of stuff with this guy. So we knew you can't call us stupid, like Bob Arum said. You cannot convince us that nothing was wrong that night. But in the same breath, Bob Arum will say, oh, well, the same thing will happen because mentally, he got knocked down 4 times and, it's a mental game. Well, tell that to the real Anthony Joshua. The guy that you said that didn't show up that night. It's better really to convince people, honestly, that nothing was wrong, that I just got beat. The better man won that day. Okay? It's better to have everyone believe that versus what Bob Arum's trying to say. Yeah, he'll get beat again, but something wasn't right about him. Right? That was an imposter. I know Joshua, and that was not Joshua. Andy Ruiz did not beat Anthony Joshua. Right? You heard it yourself, people. That's exactly what Bob Arum just finished saying. And then right after that, he says, oh, the same thing happens again. It's amazing. Right? It's absolutely amazing. So, I look at that and I'm like, okay, again, this is Bob Arum. You got to look for the angle. Where's the angle? Bob Arum had Andy Ruiz. So, of course, he wouldn't give Andy Ruiz 100% credit. He would rather, to bash Ruiz or to shun Ruiz, he would rather, oh, Ruiz couldn't punch and then something was wrong with Joshua, instead of saying, hey, Andy Ruiz beat Joshua hands down. But then would say, right around and say, Andy Ruiz would beat the real Anthony Joshua. It makes no sense to me. So, I don't know, guys. You guys tell me what you think about the rest of this interview. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.